This is Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. I'm here with Emily Murphy at the 2012 Forrester Customer Intelligence Forum.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Hi.
Emily, with the advent of social, mobile, and other emerging technologies, how do brands effectively engage their audience in this challenging and very dynamic marketing environment?
So I think with the social channels, what's challenging is that every consumer interacts with social in a different way. So 80% of all US online adults are participating in the social channels, but that participation varies from casual observer all the way up to engaged participant and commenter. And so I think the most important thing for brands is to start testing and learning in the social channels to, one, understand how their members or their consumers are interacting with the social channels before they start rolling out massive social media campaigns.
Great. What would be the biggest challenge for marketers in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think that the biggest challenge for marketers in the next 3 to 5 years is going to be, one, the amount of customer data. So earlier today, Dave Franklin told us that 90% of the world's data, or 90% of the historical data, was created in the last year. And that sifting through that data and coming up with actionable insights is going to be a huge challenge for marketers. So as more and more data is created, sifting through that and creating insights gets more challenging, not less. And then I think the other side of that is that consumers have heightened expectations and will continue to have heightened expectations for how marketers interact with them. And so that's going to be a huge challenge on meeting those expectations.
As a follow-up to the data question, with 90% of the data being created in the last year, how do brands effectively source and get through that data to find the actionable pieces of insight? And there's so many disparate pieces of data in different data silos. How do brands effectively take that up and identify the person and create that actionable insight that you talk about?
Sure. So customer intelligence is the way that marketers collect, manage, analyze, and apply customer data to improve marketing and business performance. And so using customer intelligence, which is applying analytics to that data, is really important in terms of identifying the insights. I also think that marketers tend to feel that they need too many pieces of data to come up with predicting customer behavior. So while a brand may think that they need 13 data points to predict customer behavior, they may end up finding that over time, as they start to map out those data points, that they really only need 3 or 4 to be really effective.
Great. Experience drives engagement, and engagement drives loyalty. Yet at every part of the channel, people have to feel engaged. What are the challenges you see with multi-channel communications for today's marketers, and how does the products you see in the market, or your products and services, help address that?
Sure. So I think the biggest challenge with multi-channel communications is that most companies aren't coordinated across all the channels. So marketers are really good at push communications, but today it's about push and pull, about reacting to consumer behavior in real time. So I think it's imperative that companies map out their customer communications ecosystem, not only for channel, but also offer and frequency and content, and how consumers are interacting with those channels, to really understand the limitations and potential for each channel and how they interplay with one another in an ecosystem.
Great. In Loyalty 360, we believe in the process of expectation matching. It's a belief that consumers' expectations change based on their engagement with the brand and the stage of the life cycle they may be with that brand. Brands struggle with this dynamic quite mightily in today's environment, and yet this idea seems to have great interest. Any ideas or offers for marketers to help put this into practice?
Sure. So I think that in terms of meeting customers' expectations, you have to understand exactly what those expectations are, and your customers are going to be your greatest asset in figuring out what they want. So I think that brands tend to turn to external sources to figure out what consumers want, when they could really just ask the customers themselves through voice of customer programs, NPS score, surveys, focus polls, etc.
Great. Why do brands struggle with listening to their consumers? All effective marketing strategies are based on interactive dialogues, yet how can that be done with so little, if any, true customer listening by the brands?
So I think brands struggle with listening because the data that's mostly emotional type data is very unstructured. It doesn't look like the transactional data they're collecting through the point of sale. And there's a lot of permissions-based challenges that come with social data and online data in terms of how much consumers are willing to share and what they can actually use. So I think in terms of listening, it's really important for marketers to move past the unstructured data and start to make sense of those channels.
Great. Well, Emily, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.